And then came the snow. Did you have snow? Did you have snow where you live? Did it impact upon what you do or what you did? I mean, the first thing that happens when it snows, and everybody then, if you get in touch with people by phone, which you do, and it's all to do with like going into work, I mean, the job that I do doesn't involve restoring the sight of blind children, so I just looked out of the window and thought, fuck it, I ain't going anywhere, it's just not worth the risk. So that was it. But then you get communications from people, and is it sticking with you? You want to see it here? It's sticking in God in heaven, bloody hell. Oh, Christ, you want to see it up where I live? It's all right for you down there, but Christ, well, I live in a fucking cheap house then, isn't it? Every now and again, you're going to come up against it. It's sort of stopped everything, didn't it, Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Buses have stopped. The buses have stopped, yeah, the buses have stopped. And the schools are shut. The schools are shut too. Fucking hell, they're shut for most of the fucking summer, What's the fucking problem? Anyway, all of that goes on, doesn't it? And, then people are saying things like, red warning, there's a red warning out. The BBC have issued a red warning. Do you know your car's not insured if there's a red warning? You're not insured? Well, that's bollocks. Because what if you're out and it's not fucking snowing? And then it starts to snow, They got this red warning comes on, starts to fucking snow, you've got to abandon your car, have you? Is that why people abandon them on the motorways? It's bollocks. Don't be so daft. You pay your fucking insurance. You're covered for everything, more or less. But red warnings off the BBC to do with the weather, I mean, their track record isn't sort of like superb, is it? So you get these urban myths popping up. And then the other one is like, you can't get anything in a supermarket at all. Well, you can, because I fucking went to a supermarket. I said, there's no bread, there's no this, there's nothing to do with bread or cakes or fuck all like that. All the milk is gone, everything's gone. Well, I saw a rather large woman sucking a fat out of Spam. So that was left, wasn't it? And I then went in and had a look. There were loads of tins of Spam there if you wanted that sort of thing. And it just panicked, it just gripped everybody. But it's not all like that. There's a bit magic in it. You can take your kids out and go tobogganing and stuff like that. You get freezing fucking cold, soaked through to the skin, and the kids do as well. The worst thing you can have is bloody gloves, innit? The snow sticks to the fucking gloves and it gets soaking wet. Your hands are freezing fucking cold. Try to make a bloody snowball, it sticks to your fucking hands, But it's fun. It is fun, I've got to admit, And if you're walking out in the snow and everything, and there's a bunch of kids across the other side of the street, you can see them weighing it up, can't you? Weighing it up about whether they're going to lob a snowball at you or not, Well, when I'm out in the snow, I'm with my dogs. I'm always with my dogs, And ever since the old, fucking dog warden thing, I might have a bag in my pocket, I don't necessarily admit that I got a bag in my pocket, but I might have a bag in my pocket, certainly when it's snowing, because I mean, it's a delight to pick up a fucking warm turd and wrap it in polythene, put it in your pocket, and just, hold it for a minute until the heat goes. Anyway, if any fucker threw a snowball at me, it'd be a cold turd by the time he did. I might fucking throw that at them, the bastards. And it's not that I don't like fun. I do like fun. I like a bit of fun. And during one episode of the snow, it wasn't snowing when I went out. I went out with the dogs and I met up with a farmer friend of mine. And then the snow started to come down. And we were looking at it and everything like that, and it was getting dark. But you can see in the dark in the snow. It's a funny thing. I don't know. Anyway, you can see in the dark. I can see in the dark, but I still had a torch with me and everything. I do what I've always done when I got a torch and it's snowing. Ever since when I was a little kid, I just shine the torch right up into the sky, and watch the snow coming down, and you can't see where it begins. You think you're going to be able to see where it begins, but it's the one vision of forever, I think. That's what I think of it. It's a bit romantic, but I like it. It's magic. Anyway, we are plodding along with the dogs and everything, and then he turned to me and he said something rather profound. And he goes, "I tell you the worst month of the year." I said, "What's that?" "January," he said. He was very serious. "January." Oh, and fucking February as well. I thought that was great. And he's right. January is the worst month of the year. And February. Anyway, that was that. And from an earlier flurry of snow, somebody had built a snowman right in the corner of this field. just to get there was quite an effort, and they built this snowman. It was obviously an artistic sort of person, or a bit of a hippie, but the snowman was quite, had a lot of features. It had buttons all down his front as if it had a jacket on of some sort, and eyes on the nose and stuff like that, and bits of fern for hair. You can get a shampoo for that, you know, brittle hair syndrome. Anyway, one of my dogs, bloody hell, he didn't like it. He fucking spooked. He's running big circles all around it. He's whining. He's looking at me. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And he's standing back, and all his fur's going up on the back of his head and everything. He didn't know what to do with it, you know. And then he did what he always does when he's a bit afraid. Like, he just walked up to it and pissed all over it. All that effort, my dog pissed over a fucking snowman. Anyway, things went on, and I got back and just put up with everything that you've got to put up with in the snow. You know, banging your bloody feet against the wall outside to whip the bloody bits and pieces off, and all of that. And then I started to think about natural disasters and stuff like that. We see them on the TV, don't we? You know, like earthquakes in certain countries, or bloody great big forest fires that go on forever, and people are being evacuated from their homes, or tsunamis. They're the most, the modern thing. I never heard of a tsunami when I was a kid, but I mean, when they happen, that's a huge disaster. But the disasters we have, they have a red warning off the BBC for snow. All I think is, thank fuck we don't have volcanoes. You can imagine then people sending you text or ringing you up and saying you went into work today. I can hear my neighbours sizzling. Oh, fucking hell bells. We don't know what a disaster is, do we? We just panic when it snows, you know. They don't snow that bloody often, but it seems to bring everything to a absolutely grinding halt. And I think it's because our judgment has become impaired. And I think it's become impaired because we're eating horse meat. Have you read about that? Have you been to a school fete, or a car boot sale, or a scouts event or something like that, and you've had a burger with a bit of gristle in it, something, you know, is that his eyelid, is that his hoof, you know, you bet your life we've all eaten fucking horse. We've all eaten fucking horse, you know, that's bound to have happened. And I thought of that because, you know, I was holed up for quite a few days because, as I say, I'd made the decision that I just wasn't going to go out, you know, fuck it. And if I don't go to work, I don't expect to get paid either, you know, because what can anybody do about the snow? Whose responsibility is the snow? Nobody's, but a lot of people just take it as a freeloading fucking activity, don't they? You know, I want a Bakshi day off, really, that's what it is. And, you know, I caught 17 buses in England, and I came across and I got a train then, and I got to Newport, and the fucking buses weren't running to Newport, so I needed a day off. Yes, what's your name again? Pinocchio? Is it Pinocchio Jenkins? Fuck off. You know, it just brings out the worst in people, doesn't it? It's, you know, anyway, there we go. So enough of that. That was my sort of snow experience. So I'm now going to play a little. I got a little hair in my mouth then. They feel huge when you get a little hair in your mouth. It feels like a piece of fucking rope or something, you know. It's incredible. I don't know where I got that from. Probably a scarf. That's the only activity that I've been up to, is just wearing a scarf. Honestly, that is the only activity that I've been up to. And, it seems disproportionately large, doesn't it, you know? I'm sure we've all had a hair in our mouth from time to time, although it's probably a less common occurrence these days, where you've got the syndrome of new pasty pussy, you know, where people, they have these minge manicures and everything, so they, you know, their hair down there is gone. It's a thing of the past now, isn't it? But nevertheless, if you do get one, if you get one off a full-grown moose, as we call them, then it does feel like a bit of rope. I don't know why I said that, really. Ooh. Anyway, music time. You know what I'm doing. I'm bloody looking down here to find the fucking button and shit, and just press it, and here we go. This is it.
Attention, hey yo, what up? My Hebrews, attention, yo. Rebel high coming true, ain't no funny business. Definition of
I wish I understood you could say it.
The brick shit house, kicking the shit out. I cut the whip out, I put the brick out. Yo, and that's my intent to connect with the cozy, I cause them headshots. And they could never prevent the main event set to get rent and rent y'all.
So there we are. What's the worst thing you've had in your mouth? A long teat.